So in the onboarding component, I guess, of the system, what are some of the pieces? What are some of the activities that a third-party management system will automate or facilitate in that onboarding process?
So I think we've already talked a lot about this in the context of the risk model and ascertaining or understanding various attributes of that relationship, whether that's a proposed or an existing relationship. But I think importantly, from an onboarding standpoint, it allows the corporation to make some decisions around that third party. And by the way, companies can do this differently. Some companies say, before we even engage the third party, we're going to have a business sponsor internally sponsor that third party, and we're going to make a decision whether we even externally engage them at that time. Mm-hmm. Other companies say that's too slow for our process. We want to do this simultaneously. So I see the value in the onboarding as allowing the company to build a model that fits their business needs around how they engage that third party from the very beginning. I also mentioned that they may be using the system to engage or to continue to manage existing third parties. It's very important that companies, when they start to engage in a third-party management program, consider that existing population of third parties and build a model for whether it's piloting in certain areas or whether it's starting in with certain populations of third parties, that they're doing it simultaneously with both their existing population of relationships as well as incoming relationships. This is an important consideration.
Scott, a robust third-party management software is going to enable a company to automate not only the risk assessment process using a risk engine, but they're also going to be able to automate the issuance of legal and compliance documents to be able to track signatures effectively, capturing important information around those signatures, such as IP addresses. They're going to be able to automate the issuance of training content and be able to track training certifications. They're going to be able to automate the review and approval process. A robust third-party management software is going to be able to effectively track adjudication of red flags. It's going to be able to automate the review of sanctions and embargo lists. It's going to be able to automate the renewed due diligence and defined schedule of ongoing monitoring. A good third-party management software, a robust third-party management software is going to be able to really empower the business to have visibility of the relationship from onboarding. Really, it's a life cycle from onboarding all the way through to, quite frankly, the end of the relationship.
Yeah, it seems pretty broad. It's almost what you described there is it's a version of tools to either survey a population or document the data gathering from that population. It's a little bit of policy management. It's a little bit of training management. It's a little bit of documentation and audit management. It's, I'm guessing, algorithms around the risk modeling. There's big data cleansing, normalization. It seems like there's a lot of
data retention.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. You can integrate data retention policies. And also a good, effective third-party management program is going to integrate in a very powerful way, is going to integrate with other types of not only software, but also content and service providers. And so that's a very important aspect because third-party management isn't just one person. It's really a coalition of different types of resources all pulled together into one ecosystem. Maybe that's an interesting way to look at a third-party management software, is look at it as a compliance ecosystem.
I see.
And I think what you've just sort of enumerated, this long list of requirements in the management of a third-party population, it speaks to why it's so important to have an automation tool. Right? It speaks to why it's important to move away from Excel spreadsheets, which companies have used historically to sort of manage these compliance processes. It's just become so unwieldy to sort of meet the regulatory sort of expectation, and that's where an automation tool can really provide a lot of value and frankly be much more efficient than managing in sort of the SharePoint or Excel environment that so many companies sort of start with.
I see.
And the software itself, when we look at just how broad this process is, keep in mind that most corporate compliance groups are anywhere from 2 to 4 people. They're not large groups. They're not generally not mature organizations. They're maturing organizations, and so having a software that automates and standardized practice is important, but it's also really important for organizations to realize that in that process, you can't automate everything. You need to have a human assessment and the ability to either stop the process or to enhance the process moving forward. You simply cannot automate everything with a software.